If you're thinking about leaving your job to start a business, there's one question you absolutely need to answer first. How much money do you actually need to make this work? There's a lot of other things you need to figure out, but the money question is the keystone. You get this one wrong, Jenga. Underestimate this and you have a business that won't hold up. Overestimate this and you might not have a business at all because you'll be too intimidated to even try. I'm going to show you how to figure out what you need to get started. And be sure to stick around because I made a tool that will do all the heavy lifting for you. When trying to figure out the money stuff, it's tempting to focus on one main number, your current take-home pay, which is a fine starting point, but it's a bad stopping point because your employer is covering a lot more than just what hits your bank account on payday. Let's say you make $65,000 a year at work. That's about $5,500 a month. So if I can generate, let's round up, $6,000 a month with my own business, I'll be just as well off, if not better. Not quite. I'm no dummy. I'm starting a business after all. Give me some credit. I'm talking about $6,000 profit. Oh, good. So you're factoring in business expenses.
Yeah.
Are you selling online?
Mm-hmm.
So are you factoring in transaction fees and website subscription costs and whatnot?
Yeah, it's mostly rolled into the equation.
Taxes?
Well, yeah, I mean, so I'm having taxes taken out of my paycheck now, so I figured that it would kind of...
I get what you're saying. Just make sure you're comparing the right numbers then. Do you need $6,000 to replace your after-tax take-home pay or your pre-tax salary? Did you get health insurance through your employer?
Yeah. So I'm gonna need to figure out how much that's worth.
And that was the position I was in 5 years ago. Prepping to make the leap, but realizing the jump might be a bit further than I originally planned. In addition to your salary, there are 3 things, broadly speaking, that you need to factor in if you don't want to fall short. Business expenses, taxes, and benefits. You gotta spend money to make money. If you sell t-shirts, you have to buy t-shirts. If you mow lawns, you have to buy a lawnmower and the gas to run it. If you build websites for clients, you probably have some hosting costs and software subscriptions, computers, hard drives, cloud storage, business email accounts, accountants. Are you going to do your own books and taxes or pay for professional help with that? Do you collect payments online or take credit cards? Transaction fees can scrape 1.5 to 3.5% off your top line revenue. Office expenses. Even if you work from home and you hadn't before, you might see an uptick in your electricity and heating costs. When you're employed, you get to enjoy bottomless ballpoint pens and Post-it notes, but now everything comes out of your pocket. They might be big, they might be small, but all these expenses can add up to subtract from your take-home pay. So plan accordingly. Taxes suck. Depending on how you set up your business, you can expect taxes to suck about twice as much. When you're employed, your employer actually covers half of your federal income tax, Social Security, and Medicare tax liability. It's pretty nice of them, eh? When you work for yourself, you pay both halves. Now, there are ways to reduce how much you owe, but that comes with its own costs and complexities to manage. The main idea here is you have to factor in taxes. You have to factor in taxes. Now, on average, small businesses pay about 20% of gross income to taxes. Your specific tax bill will vary. It could be higher, it could be lower, but you can use that as a rule of thumb and plan accordingly. The third major category of costs to calculate are any benefits you might receive from your employer. This could be paid time off, 401k matching, and the granddaddy of them all, health insurance. Personally, the prospect of losing health insurance and having to figure out how to pay for my own coverage was the big, scary boogeyman that kept me from striking out on my own sooner than I did, by like a year. I had a family to care for, and I kept hearing how impossibly expensive insurance was. So this highlights another problem. Jumping before calculating the costs can land you in dire financial straits, but being too calculating can paralyze you and keep you from jumping at all. I should say being quasi-calculating is the problem. Merely being aware that all these expenses exist out there without getting clarity on what they actually add up to can leave you feeling anxious and overwhelmed. When you take time to crunch the numbers and understand what you're dealing with, then you can make a plan to deal with it.
Okay, let's run.
The point of this video isn't to scare you away from entrepreneurship, quite the opposite. It's to help you be prepared and know your numbers so you don't have to be scared. Anyone who's afraid of the dark isn't afraid that the dark itself is going to hurt them. They're scared of what might be there that they can't see, what's lurking in the dark forest ready to pounce on them. If you turn on the light, you can actually see what lies ahead. It's not that scary anymore. So I made you a flashlight. I created a salary replacement calculator, and you can access it right now for free at sidekick.show/calculator. I wanted to give you a way to work through all these variables and expenses I just managed and see how much revenue you need to generate with your business in order to bring home your desired amount of bacon. Let's take a look at how this works. You input some information, your current salary or target salary, some information to help you estimate health insurance costs, your regular monthly personal expenses, some estimated business expenses, how much you're currently making with your side business, and how much you can work while you're still employed. And then it will estimate your real revenue target. It factors in taxes, business expenses, and benefits. And it gives you a timeline for how long it will take you to save up and get ready to make the leap into full-time self-employment and have a little saving safety net to help you through the transition. It'll also show you a few different scenarios. How many billable hours you need to work in order to cover essential expenses, in order to support a more comfortable lifestyle, and in order to completely replace your salary. And the last box here is the zero growth scenario. It shows how long a runway you have in the event you launch your business, but you don't add any more billable hours than you're already working as a side gig. So you can play around with different hourly rates and use the slider here to increase or decrease the number of hours you can work while still employed, and it will update all these results in real time. The calculator is still in beta, but it should help give you a clear idea of what it will take to be ready to make the leap into full-time self-employment. Remember, it's a calculator, not a crystal ball. We can't eliminate all unknowns, but what I hope it can do is replace some of that paralyzing uncertainty with a little bit of informed courage. When you know what you're working toward, you can create a real plan to get there. And after running the numbers, you might discover you're actually closer than you realize. You don't need to be afraid of the dark anymore. Let's shine some light on your numbers. Now you've got the tools. Here's what I'd love for you to do. First, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. That goes a long way in helping me make more resources like this. Then take the salary replacement calculator for a spin. The link is in the description. Spend 5 or 10 minutes with it and see what your numbers look like. And let me know what you think. Leave some feedback. Drop a comment. Let me know how I can continue to improve this. And before we wrap up, knowing how much you need is just the first step. Next question is, what should you actually charge for your work to get there? Because let's be honest, most freelancers aren't charging enough. So after you played with the calculator a bit, click right here and watch my next video, and I'll walk you through exactly how to set your hourly rate, and I'll even give you a budget template that makes the whole process even clearer. My name's Dave, your self-employment sidekick. Thanks for watching.